actually the agenda was posted with these instructions that you sent out for this meeting, correct?
That's correct.
And anybody that's joining can access the agenda online, correct, as well?
Yep, it's posted online, so if the public's watching, they can go ahead, go to the agenda posted to the town site, and then Zoom.
Okay. Perfect. And it's also being live streamed, or is it being recorded?
Both.
Both. Okay. All right. Ashley, do you want to do me a favor and explain how this is going to work if the public has comments and whatnot?
Sure. So what some communities have been doing to allow the public to give their comments is when they get to that point in the meeting, they say, if you'd like to give us a public comment, please put your name in the chat box. The reason for the chat box is sometimes names aren't necessarily associated with the login, so it's hard to call out cell phone numbers, for example. And then if someone's on a phone and they don't have the chat box, you can just give an opportunity for someone to unmute themselves and give their name. If you'd like, I don't know that we'll get a lot of people tonight, but I can keep tabs of who's chimed in. And if we get to a point where you want to call for public comment, I can let you know if there's anyone waiting.
Okay, that sounds good. And so I get the reason we're calling this meeting was to talk about a couple of things, obviously with the situation that's going on right now, and a few things that Ashley has put together, which are really promising, and I think we'd like to get involved with it, but I certainly can't make the call for the entire board. So Ashley, why don't you, if you could, just go over the whole thing about Walpole provisions, what we're trying to do, and exactly what we're looking at, and just to give an overview to everybody.
Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen. So let me know if it's not working. So.
Who did we just get? We just got someone else coming in.
John Hassenjager.
All right, great, John. Thank you.
After 15 times trying to get the magic eye in the computer to work, I just called in by phone.
You made it just in time. So can everyone see my screen here?
Yeah.
Okay. Just gonna go. So this is the social media campaign to support our restaurants during this COVID-19 time. Basically, I'll just go over the problem statement, the campaign, what it will cost, and kind of how the raffle will work. So basically, since Governor Baker's prohibition on dine-in service in restaurants in response to COVID-19, it's had a really devastating impact on our local restaurants. I think this is clear. I think everyone's familiar with this problem. We've received surveys from over 30 businesses in Walpole, and the overwhelming answer to the question, how can the town support you, is help promote our businesses, tell people to order takeout, tell people to get delivery. So that end, the social media campaign is, the goal is to support our local restaurants who are really important to the community and to the Main Street Live events, as well to raise awareness about which restaurants are open and if they're offering takeout or delivery. There seems to be some confusion about who's open, who's not. And I've also noticed that some restaurants have even changed their menus to have family style meals and stuff. So I think this is a good way to get that out there into the media world. And it's pretty simple. Someone would order delivery or takeout from an eligible restaurant. And we could talk about this more if the EDC has different feelings on this, but basically a restaurant that's independently owned and operated. They're not nationally dominant in the field of operation for that business, and they're not a franchise or chain business. And they're on our walpoleprovisions.wordpress.com page. That's a really important part of this. So what that person would do is they would order their delivery or takeout, take a picture of their meal, and tag it with Eat in Walpole and the name of the restaurant. And they can do this from Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. And then at the end of each week, the idea is to raffle off 2 $50 gift certificates to the eligible restaurant of their choice, with the campaign to run 4 weeks. This would cost $400 with just a basic, 2 times 50 times 4. We've thought some about public outreach, and we would chamber, destination downtown. The town has several Twitter accounts that we can use to promote this. And there are a lot of community Facebook groups, and certainly any others that you think would be great would be really helpful. And then in terms of restaurant outreach, the Board of Health maintains a list of restaurants in Walpole that we have access to. So we think that would be a good way to get the survey out to people and let them know that we're doing this. And then really, we'd launch this as soon as we can. And I think we're in a good position to launch it as early as tomorrow if this board feels that the $400 is an appropriate way to spend the EDC funds. So that's kind of the overview of it. I went ahead and made like a gift card sample. This is something that I've learned not all restaurants are set up to do gift cards, and certainly we would want this to be as accessible as possible. So we could potentially give this gift certificate. We'd work with the restaurant to make sure they were comfortable with this, but I think we could find a way to get it sorted. So that's really the long and short of it.
Okay, well, why don't we talk about what everybody thinks about this idea, what kind of impact it'll have, and then, we can vote on whether or not we want to, fund this through our Main Street Live money that we have sitting there. And just before we talk about it, I just want everyone to know that we are also talking about, and not ready for prime time yet, but talking about other ways that we can funnel some of that money into downtown businesses in need, including obviously some of the restaurants. I've been in touch with some of the owners down there, and one in particular is really hurting. And so I don't want people to think that this is the only thing that we're talking about doing, but this is what we're talking about doing for this meeting. And it's the only thing that we can really vote on at this point. So I don't want anyone to go into this thinking that this is, a one and done type thing. This is just step one, but I think it's a great idea that Ashley came up with. So don't forget to unmute yourselves if you want to make comments, but why don't we just go around the room here and see how people feel about it. Anybody can jump in. Ashley, if you want to moderate and just ask people if they, what their thoughts are, or anybody can just jump in if they want.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I would go along with it as well. I'm not sure how we're getting publicity out on it, though. We can put it on the website, but I don't know how many people check on that regularly. Do you have any other ideas on publicity?
Yeah, so I think we could ask the chamber if they would share it with their network. Destination Downtown could share it with theirs. The town has Twitter accounts. The rec department, I think, has something like 8,000 followers. So I would certainly reach out and ask them to share I made a draft flyer I can show you guys too, if you want to see how we could.
Hey, Ashley, this is Brian. Can I jump in?
Yes, please.
Love the idea. And I'm wondering if you want to try to, in an easy way, see if other organizations might want to dovetail in to support this and donate their own $50 gift. And then they'll promote this to their constituents. So what I mean by that is Friends of St. Patrick, maybe they, donate two $50 gift cards for a certain week, and their Junior Women's Club of Walpole could donate a couple and promote this to their organization and followers. I'm on the board of Walpole Youth Soccer, so I would look to see if there's a way that Walpole Youth Soccer might want to buy a couple of these gift cards and then promote it to their 900 email.
Connor.
Hello?
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea. There's some haste in getting this out there. So if we could, maybe the EDC could sponsor, the first X amount of weeks, and in between that we can say, hey, if you want to sponsor more weeks, we'll work with you to do that.
Sure.
Or, to Brian's point, I hadn't thought about it, Brian, until you said it, but, if we did want to be behind the scenes, try to approach some of these groups. So maybe if we do get some traction in the first couple of weeks, there might be a call to have 5 or 6 gift cards available every week from different sponsors as opposed to just the 2.
Right. So Helen, my wife, is here, and she's listening in. She's president of the Junior Women's Club of Walpole, and she's raising her hand saying, would love to get involved and help support this and help promote it. And she's in a family restaurant business. Her mom is thankfully still open doing curbside down in Smithfield, Rhode Island at her pizza place.
So we could do, 5 or 6 gift cards for every week, potentially.
Yeah, more gift cards.
That would be great.
But let's ramp to that. I just want to make sure that in the first week we're getting some traction.
Right.
We don't want to offer 6 gift cards and then only get 3 entries. You know what I mean? So better to ramp to it and show people that it is a popular thing to do, and go from there. But it doesn't mean we can't make the phone calls and try to set up some sponsors that, starting week 2, week 3, and so on, would be wanting to get involved. So we can start that stuff right away, I think, Brian, right? And
Yeah, I think you could.
And then activate them as time goes on, as this thing picks up some steam.
Harry may even
I
know
would agree.
Sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, I would agree that why don't we line up the sponsors for now, and then see how it rolls through the first week or so.
Can everyone see my screen? Do they see a yellow banner?
Yes.
Okay, this is a flyer that I drafted up kind of in optimistic hope that you would support this. So this is something we could blast out on the Twitter and the Facebook groups and whatnot. It just kind of explains what the campaign would be and how to join.
Yeah, looks good.
And so just so we're clear, Ashley, so people would eat out at a restaurant, take a picture of what they're doing, post it to the website or the social media that this program has out, and then they would be automatically entered into the drawing every week for the gift card, correct?
So I'd say they'd eat in their house from a restaurant. They wouldn't.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah, they have takeout and then eat in. Do some sort of a image that they can post, and they become automatically enrolled in the raffle. They don't have to do anything else, correct?
That's right. And so I would go and monitor those each week, and all these details are up for discussion, but in the flyer it says you can have maximum 2 entries per day, because I thought, well, hey, if someone wants to get their lunch at one place or their breakfast at one place and then dinner at another, but it has to be two different restaurants, and only 2 a day. I thought those were fair kind of parameters for it.
And do we want to include if people actually go out and purchase a bunch of gift cards themselves? Because that will really help out the restaurants at this point too. people that are buying gift cards for the future, are really doing these restaurants at least an immediate service. To they're going to have to pay the piper eventually, but immediate cash is great when they don't have to spend any money getting food out right away. So should we? And I haven't thought about this, before now, but is buying gift cards anything, or should we stick to the food?
I've definitely been thinking how to get more gift card sales up. So I think that we could do, I don't know that we'd want to do that with this campaign, but we can maybe do a different, some communities are doing like their EMTs and their police officers, and they're doing gift cards, donating it to the nurse. So there's some ideas out there about, people intentionally buying gift cards to support the folks who are out there on the front lines of this. I've also thought, are you familiar with booing, like at Halloween time?
What is it?
I think it's called booing, where you
Oh yeah, you put something on someone's door.
So I thought it would be
Hosting.
fun to do the equivalent of booing with gift card dinner. So you buy a family a dinner and you leave it on their doorstep, and there's a little thing you put in the lawn that says, I don't know what the phrase is, but to say we left this family a gift card, and then they can go do it together. So I'm definitely brainstorming different ways to do that. This hashtag Eden Walpole, I think, is the cleanest, most straightforward thing to kind of get rolling immediately, because I really think time is really important here.
Yeah, agreed. And they have to use the hashtag Eat in Walpole to be eligible, correct?
Yeah, that's how I'll be able to go into the different social medias and find out who's posting pictures.
Right. Exactly. Okay.
Hey, Ashley, I just want to make a comment on the social media aspect. If people have private accounts on Instagram and Facebook, then if they post it, no one's going to see it.
Yeah, that's a good point. So that post will have to be public. And you can change, my understanding is you can change your audience for those posts.
Not on Instagram.
Okay. So then you would have to have a public Instagram profile, or you could go on Facebook and make that individual post.
Correct. And just one follow-up on gift cards versus buying gift cards. Although that's nice and it is cash, speaking from experience, when the restaurant has purchased the food and it's in their back room, they've got to turn that food over. So the more we can get people to get in there to buy takeout is more beneficial in some ways than somebody. Just food for thought if we're trying to.
Yeah, great point. It's a great point.
It wasn't my point. It was.
Can I add a suggestion or a question?
Sure.
So I understand the focus here is on our local restaurants and primarily the ones that are owned by Walpole residents or local residents. But am I wrong to think that the takeout restaurant business is probably very busy right now because of what's going on? I understand the impact is going to be more on the bartenders and the wait staff that are out of work. But why are we only focusing on the restaurant sector where there's probably a number of other businesses or industries that are still going to be hurting and we're not addressing them at all?
That's a good point. And this is a tough one to wrestle with because, the pizza places are doing pretty well. I talked to Temmie down at Jimmy's Pizza and they're as busy as they always are. And that's great news for them. I think the restaurants that are more designed for the experience and eat in and quite frankly, make most of their money at the bar are really at risk. So, it's hard to make a determination between, do you want to just open it up to people that we think might need it, or do we open it up to everybody? That's a hard one. That's tough to think about because we don't necessarily know who's hurting and who isn't. Anybody have thoughts on that?
We've gotten, I think, responses from 35 different businesses in Walpole. Most of them are restaurants. I think about 20 of them are restaurants. And from the survey, there are all say, please buy takeout, please buy delivery, because I think that they might be busy relative to some other businesses, but the volume isn't there. But if
Yeah,
you
that's
have
why
to
I would hesitate from, and that's why I would hesitate from trying to make a distinction between the two. You know, at the end of the day, we try to make them all successful, doing this small part. And if people think they can help out and have a chance to win something, or at least get it to go a little bit, I hate to use the word viral, but have it go a little bit viral around town, and people start to get in on it, then, you know, it can have an effect. If it doesn't take off, it won't have an effect. So we have to do the best we can in getting it out to the most people.
I also
Right, I'm just suggesting that, you know, as I go down the center of town, I mean, the hair salons are closed, the barber is closed, the florist probably isn't doing as much business. There's going to be a lot of other people. I know we rushed into this Eat in Walpole thing, but it could simply be shop in Walpole. You know, so it could be buying gift cards at the local florist. It could be buying gift cards. I don't know if the barber is automated enough, but, you know, gift cards to get haircuts when this is all over. You know, that way he's building up his book. The massage therapy, the dance schools, I mean, they're all not having revenue right now. So I don't know. Again, I like it all. It's about supporting our businesses, but I just think we're leaving a lot of people behind that, again, may not be aware of the survey. And I know we need to be as expedient as possible to get this moving. But again, I think we really need to throw more information out there for other businesses that can be in this program.
I'll just add, you know, maybe in addition to the Eat in Walpole, we do a Shop in Walpole campaign where we promote buying gift cards for all of the different businesses in town. So the florists and the massage parlors. I don't think we need to pick necessarily, especially if we have organizations that would be willing to help sponsor different gift cards. But I
How do we get people involved that, let's say they want to buy a gift card for a business that's temporarily closed, but they want to help out that business, you know, a non-restaurant business. But let's say that small business isn't really set up to do online gift cards, but no one's there, so they can't buy a gift card. I don't want to overcomplicate this, but is there a way that we could facilitate that? Let's say someone wants to buy a gift card to, I don't know, that tutoring math place down in the center of town, where they know they're going to do it, but they just can't go down there and, you know, for the next 2 months. But will this place survive for 2 months, you know, without any income? So, all right, we're going to buy now. Well, if they don't have, and I'm only using them as an example, they may very well have the ability to do this. But if someone doesn't have the ability to do an online gift card, is there a way that could be facilitated by a third party that we could get these companies to buy into, where they could get the cash now and honor the gift cards that are produced by a third party?
There are resources out there that are kind of telling businesses, hey, if you're not set up for gift cards, this is how you could do it. Potentially at the local level, we could do, you know, gift card campaign and work with businesses and develop our own certificates where on behalf of the EDC or whatever organization, we give that business the cash and we give out a certificate like the one that I drafted. So we could try, you know, help.
Let's say just a regular citizen that wants to do their hashtag, you know, shop in Walpole. So they would have to buy a gift card first for a business that may not be open to post that. But this business doesn't have the ability to do that. Is there a way, and again, this is just, I haven't even thought about this until it was brought up by Harry, but I think it's a great idea. But is there a way to have maybe, you know, Walpole Cooperative be the intermediary, you know, to make this happen, where someone could put together a program, people would buy, and then Walpole Cooperative would back that gift card or something, you know, or somehow. I don't know how we could make it work, but I don't want to make it, I don't want these people in town, these businesses, to have to go to 5 different companies offering gift card programs. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I don't know. Again, I'm just trying to think out loud here.
I can definitely research and reach out. I know that some other communities are doing similar things. So if we wanted, we could regroup next Monday, and I can have a thought out kind of idea on how we could do that.
Yeah, I agree. The focus, I think, should at the beginning be on the restaurants, because people are familiar with them, and it's easier to get them started, and it's something that people are doing every day, eating out, or at least eating. So let's get it started with the dining program, and then fold in something a week or 2 down the line.
Good idea. That's a good idea. Harry, thanks for bringing that up. That's it. You know, I think that there's an opportunity here to do that type of thing, and I think it would be great. Ashley, while I'm thinking of it, can we put somewhere on the website that you developed recently regarding this, maybe some information for the small business owners about what resources are out there for them right now, and how they can get to, you know, this bill that was just passed. You know, people are saying, oh, small businesses are going to get this, this, and this. And a lot of these people have, okay, but now what? You know, I don't even know where to start. So is there some information we can put out?
It's all on our town website.
Yeah, but I mean more than that, because, you know, because quite frankly, a lot of times people don't necessarily jump to the town website. Maybe something on this website that you're putting together might have a pointer or a link to the town website for that information.
So, can you all see my screen now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So here's the Walpole Provisions landing page that we've been sending out to folks. If you go to this Walpole resources, there's resources for businesses here. So information about the different loans that are available. And I need to link this, I did it today, but an update on the CARES Act that was just passed is all here.
Great.
So it's there. We could front and center. There's not a whole lot of information out just yet on exactly how all of these things are going to work. So as I'm getting more information, I'm trying to update as quickly as I can. So this will just take you to, you know, all the information about the different programs and how to access them.
Perfect.
Whether or not you're eligible.
That's good. Because I know there's a ton of questions out there.
Well, do we need a vote on this? Can we
Yeah, I think
formulate a motion that would cover it and get it going?
Hands off business.
Go for it, Ken.
all right. So is there any more discussion? Because I would entertain a motion to move forward with funding the first, what did we say, 4 weeks, Ashley?
That's just what I'm recommending. If you want to make it longer or shorter.
Well, I think we should start there at $100 a week, using Main Street Live funds.
And then
you know, with the option to move forward, you know, with at a next meeting, after seeing how successful it is, move forward to fund more, or you know, also fund the shop in Walpole idea. You know, this is very fluid, obviously. So I think we should just start with the first 4 weeks and then move ahead from there. So if somebody wants to make a motion, we can go from there.
Yeah, I'll move it.
Anybody want to make the motion?
I'll make it that we go ahead with the restaurant program for the next 4 weeks.
Seconded.
Second by Kevin. All in favor? Aye. Raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Okay, so I think you got all of us, Ashley.
Great.
Don't think we, if somebody opposed, but we didn't hear you say opposed again, I just want to make sure we have everybody. Okay, good. So I think it's unanimous for who we have on, Ashley.
Okay, great. And if I could get with Brian and whoever else would we could talk about what organizations we could see if we can ramp up the number of gift certificates. And if you want
Yeah, I think to Brian's point, there's a lot of groups in town that may be willing to throw some money at this. So, you know, I think having the Junior Women's Club interested is a huge thing, and we really appreciate that. They have such influence within the town that I think their voice can be very, very helpful in both these initiatives. But, you know, going along with that, Brian's right. There's a lot of groups that run our youth sports. There's just a whole list. Maybe we could either talk now or take it offline and try to get some ideas, and then whoever feels comfortable or has access or knowledge or relationships with these people in the different groups, maybe we break it up and we each make a few calls and see what we can make happen with that. Is that something we should do now, Ashley, or take it offline?
I might suggest you make a small working group to research this further. So if one or two of you want to be on that and work with me, we can brainstorm ideas and kind of work through different groups we want to reach out to and talk about a hashtag Shop Walpole campaign.
Okay. Anybody would like to be part of that group? Brian?
I'll be on it.
Okay. Anyone else have the
I'll
time?
join.
All right. I don't mind being on it either. I don't mind making any phone calls. And I'm sure all of us would be interested if we have relationships. I think the working group maybe ought to put together a list of potential groups and then maybe distribute that list, because we don't know who we know Beth knows everybody, but we don't know who Beth has relationships with. Harry, Ken, and John Hassenjaeger. So people may know people, which would help out a lot. So does that sound like a good idea, to put a list together and then distribute just to see who knows who?
I would just ask that you send it through me and I can share with all of you. That way there's no open meeting law violation.
Sounds good. So Brian, you, if you don't mind, like, taking the reins on kind of coordinating this with Kevin and myself, part of the working group, we can work together. And then Brian, do you want to kind of be the leader of it and just push us through this? Do you mind that, or?
Happy to do it.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yep.
All right.
Hey, Ashley, can I ask just one question on the logistics of the drawings, how that will work? So we're all aware if people ask us that it's not some, top secret thing, but how would you coordinate that, or how would you go ahead and do that?
Well, I can't win and none of you can win either.
That is good.
We should be doing our best to tag our own meals and whatnot to support the effort. So I'm planning on going through each of the sites at the end of the week and just tallying, making marks of how many people. A good problem would be for me to be overwhelmed with the number of entries, at which point I'll enlist help. That's a problem I would welcome and we'll deal with if it becomes an issue. But I'm thinking I'll just go through and make marks and then literally put them in a hat and pull out at random. So unless anyone has a better way of doing it.
There's probably no better way unless you put together some sort of an Excel spreadsheet when they come in, and then just randomizing and having it choose one,
If we get huge volumes, I'll probably go that route, but
yeah, if we get 5, it isn't going to matter. Now, what are we going to do if, because if I wasn't the nice guy that I was, I have a pretty large family. What if we all order from jalapenos, and then every one of us on our Instagrams puts our hashtag in? Now we get 5 shots at it with the same meal. That's just the Sicilian in me that wants to do that.
Yeah, but I mean, that's that many more posts that are going out, and you all have different networks to some extent, and you know.
I know. I'm just being kind of facetious with it.
It crossed my mind too, and you know that there's always going to be people to do that, but I'm trying to not let the good get in the way of the perfect, or however that is. That
So
phrase goes.
can you use multiple sites? So I can do hashtag something on Facebook and it gets to Twitter, correct? Is that how that works?
No.
So you have to do it on Twitter then?
I think you have to do it on every different platform. I don't know if Instagram and Facebook might be connected,
They
but
are.
I think you'd have to
They're
do
not.
Twitter separately.
They're
So
not.
if you have an Instagram, you can have it share automatically to your Facebook.
Hey, once we get this rolling, we get other people, other groups involved with putting up money. We should also offer like a $200 gift card for the best like TikTok or something, because now you're going to get kids involved, and that'd be huge because they're all going to want to go out to eat so they can do their TikTok around their meal. Believe me, my daughter would fight us forever just to
We
go
might
to
have
all.
to consult her on her expert knowledge. I have never used TikTok, so.
Well, if you want to get the kids involved, TikTok is it.
That would be anyone for me. But so do we want to plan another meeting next Monday, or is there a better day to regroup to talk about, well, maybe next Tuesday would be better, and we could talk about how the first week went and talk about Shop Walpole and update the group on the working group's efforts.
Sure, whatever works for everybody. I'm not going anywhere, so.
My daughter says to like do the live drawing on Facebook or something like that.
Oh.
That might drum up some activity.
My sewing room people want to watch people. Oh, we could see. Maybe, do we know anyone famous that could do it for us? That could be fun.
Well, you can get like Joe Morgan can be one of them. You know, reach out to the people in Walpole, you know, that are, you know,
The hockey
famous people. The hockey player played for the Bruins, if he's around.
Oh,
What's his name?
yeah, we should definitely make that a
You
fun.
know, maybe the teacher, you know, one of the selectmen, firefighter, a policeman.
Yeah,
You know, something
Chief
like that.
Carmichael would be good.
That's
Yeah,
great.
I'd say teacher, someone from the first responder side would be nice.
Yeah.
Tom Brady. Oh yeah, wait, sorry.
Too soon.
All right, so you want to schedule? Does everybody have a problem with this time next week? What is today anyway? Monday? I don't know what day it is.
The 30th.
Is
Today's
next Tuesday the next scheduled the regular scheduled EDC meeting?
That would be the second Tuesday, so that would be the 14th of April.
Yeah, so I would say do Monday because we're not going to have anything live by then.
Okay.
The sooner the better. So maybe have the meeting on Monday, and then we'll know what restaurants are going to be engaging in the program and take it from there. It's just we probably want to be launching it by that EDC meeting, the scheduled one.
Oh, I was getting ready to launch it.
Roll it.
Yeah, I think we roll it down. Our next meeting, we see how well it goes.
But again, you got to come up with the parameters of like you're rolling it out to the people that the people have. You have to write the rules and regs so people know these are the only restaurant. You can't go to any restaurant, right?
Right.
So they have to know what restaurants are on the list.
So
Is there a certain amount of purchase that'll get you on the list? I mean, if I go to the pizza joint, Jimmy's, and get a slice versus the person that ordered, you know what I mean?
it's an entry. The flyer that I drafted up says, take your picture. You're allowed maximum 2 entries per day. They have to be from different eligible restaurants. There's an asterisk that describes what it means to be an eligible restaurant. You got to go to the, let me see if I can share my screen.
So can
And
you
are we
send me
sure
that
we
stuff?
don't want to open it up to franchises? Because they are small business owners.
So can you see my screen here?
Yep.
So I've got, probably about 20 restaurants on here.
Mark, I'd be against the franchises. I'm going to guess there might be some relief for some of those franchise owners through the actual brands, where the local restaurants that have no support like that are the ones I would want to try to help the most.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I don't know if there's corporate support for some of those franchise owners.
I don't know. They have a shot at it anyways, or a better shot.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I don't mind that. I just don't want to leave anyone out I don't want to make an assumption and then be wrong and have one of these franchises get in trouble. But again, there's a lot of support out there right now anyway. So you're probably right. Anything else? No? Okay. So Ashley, are you going to set up the meeting and for next week and send it out the same way you did?
Yep. So I'll get a Zoom invite. We'll put it on the agenda so that people from the public, if they want to join us, they can. It's a public meeting, and we'll set the time for 5 o'clock. And I appreciate you guys being available tonight to talk about this. There's a lot of urgency, and I think part of the strategy is to fail and fail quickly. So we might need to be flexible as we go through this and kind of learn as we go. But I think it's a good start.
Yeah, I agree. And Ashley, you did a really nice job on all this. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Oh, one last thing, Ashley, did you want to talk about that GoFundMe situation?
Oh, I just wanted to really plug it really quickly. Thanks for bringing it up. I don't know if people are familiar. Let me see if I can share my screen again. Sorry, one sec. There's a GoFundMe. Can you see my screen? Okay, there's a GoFundMe initiative. They're matching up to $500 for folks who raise money. I just looked up Walpole, and a lot of the restaurants already have one set up. Not just restaurants, sorry, but all of the businesses. So I just wanted to plug this and let people know that this is out there. So if people wanted to go and directly support these businesses, this is an outlet where they can do that. And I believe GoFundMe will match. So if they want to double their money, this is a good way to go.
Okay, that sounds good. Maybe we could, just personally and through EDC promote those. I wish you could send out a link to that search result, saying, hey, folks, here's the people in Walpole that are trying to do GoFundMes for their businesses. Just to aggregate it for people who are out there in the town.
Right. I'll see if I can do that, and then I'll maybe even add it to the Walpole Provisions webpage.
That's what I'm thinking. Even if it's just a link to the search result, if that's possible, I don't know, but that would be an easy way for them to say, "Oh, that's my salon."
Right.
They're trying to raise money, so it's another good thought. I hadn't thought about that.
I'll just add, as of today, we've had 2,600 views of the Walpole Provisions site. So
really, that's great.
Yeah, it'd be great to have more than that, but it's been there for about a week, so I'll take it.
That's excellent. Perfect. I think if we all promote it, I think we can really up that number. That's a great number right now, but I think that, once we get a lot of different people kind of attacking it'll get into everybody's groups. So that's great. All right, anybody else have anything? No? All right, so I'm going to close the meeting. Somebody want to make a motion to close? Anyone? I'll make a motion to close then, even though I don't know is the chair supposed to make their own motions?
Mark, I'll do it. Motion to close. I was on mute.
Seconded.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Okay, good. All right, thanks everybody. I really appreciate it. Ashley, once again, thank you very much for all the work on this. And we'll look forward to next Monday.